Good evening. Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. Last night, the Phillies Red October on the main stage on ESPN handled their business against the Marlins. I know there were a lot of Braves fans out there. And listen, I'm not going to lie. I wanted the Marlins to win. Why wouldn't you want the Marlins to win? If the Marlins won, hypothetically, this wild card series, you might as well be giving us a free pass to go. It's like Monopoly. It's like, here's your tickets to the NLCS, because there's 0% chance the Marlins would ever beat the Braves in a 5-game series. It just doesn't matter, especially without Yuri Perez and Sandy Alcantara. That's the strength of their team, and they're without two of their best starters, if not their two best starters. Luzardo was on the mound last night. I thought if the Marlins had any chance in this wild card series, which I gave them about a 5% chance to win, they would have to win this game. But listen, Zach Wheeler is an absolute stud. He has become a postseason ace. He's become maybe the best postseason baseball pitcher right now. Fantastic free agent signing. It's one of those guys, like there's guys on the Phillies, and this is kind of what makes me like, I don't hate him like I hate the Mets. I hate him because there are things about them that I'm jealous of. I'm jealous of Bryce Harper. He's an absolute stud, and he loves the moments. I'm jealous of Red October. That place is electric, and that's probably the best home field advantage in all of sports. And that's no disrespect to Truist Park. That is just a fantastic atmosphere when the playoffs come and they show up in October, unlike any other fan base. And it's not that the Braves fans aren't going to sell out. They sell out every game during the regular season. Those guys are just crazy, and they get up, and it's a great atmosphere. And you're lying to yourself if you're not a little bit jealous as a Braves fan, because I know how me and you are. I mean, we're LSU fans. We're college football guys. It feels like a college football atmosphere the entire game for 3 hours at a baseball game. And then there's a guy like Zach Wheeler, who I'm like, the Mets go out and make all these terrible transactions and stuff, and you're like, wow, that's an awful contract. But the Phillies go out and make smart transaction. I think Zach Wheeler might be the best free agent pitching signing of the last 5 to 6 years. I mean, he's pitching like one of the best pitchers in baseball in the postseason and the regular season. And he was on a 5-year, $110 million deal. When you look across at what the best pitchers are making, it's not close. When you look at what Max Fried's going to get, he's going to get double that. And Zach Wheeler is performing at the same level as a guy like Max Fried. And I almost compare him as like a right-handed Max Fried. So consistent. Every time he's on the mound, you know he's going to give you a good start. He may not be the best pitcher in the league, but he's right up there, and his consistency is unmatched, and he can attack you in so many different ways. He's got so many different in, out, locations, different pitches. It's kind of similar to the way that I think about Max Fried. But listen, the Braves fans we're just gonna come to the realization that this was inevitable. The Phillies are coming, and they are going to be the toughest test of the entire postseason. You win this NLDS, you might as well pencil the Braves in on the World Series trophy. They will win the World Series.
I think whoever wins this NLDS will, I don't want to say win the World Series. They will be in the World Series. There's no doubt about that, and they have a damn good chance of winning the World Series. Yeah, I tweeted it out yesterday, dude. The bank was rocking. I would love to go there for a playoff game. I'd probably get in an altercation or two, so it probably wouldn't be smart on my end. That place is electric. And all the Braves fans who are saying, the Phillies beat a AAA lineup, the Braves experience is better. Well, we can say 3 things can be true at once. The Braves have an unreal environment. It's unreal, especially the consistent, any time of the year, you can go to a Braves game and you're going to have an unreal environment. But let's just call a spade a spade. Last night's environment was unreal. Tuesday night, and it was packed out. You said a college football experience, and I think that's a great way of describing it. The Braves, the Chop House is like that, but the entire stadium is not like that. It's that simple. I don't think it was ever going to be close, and the Marlins got dog walked. Even from the very first inning, though the Phillies didn't push those 2 runners across, it felt like it was over after the first inning. I think that most people would say that. And, it's time to just, if you're a Braves fan and you haven't swallowed this, the Phillies are good. And this is going to be a tough divisional series. The good news is Zach Wheeler just pitched. Do they pitch Aaron Nola? They probably could get away with not even pitching Aaron Nola so that they could have him for game 1. That's the only advantage the Braves really have. Their 2 horses are kind of going to be gassed. They will still pitch, maybe even on short rest, and probably could pitch both of them twice if need be, if Aaron Nola doesn't pitch tonight. I don't know what Braves fans are like. they're just delusional. They're delusional about the Braves sometimes, where they think the sky is falling, and they're delusional saying that the Phillies aren't good. They're beating a bad Marlins team. Listen, the Marlins lineup isn't good, but we knew that, and the Phillies did exactly what they needed to do. They dominated. They dominated. Let's
Yeah, I
just
mean,
call a
they're
spade a spade.
the second team in best team in baseball. Luckily, in Atlanta, we have the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
And listen, and like we've always talked about, the best team doesn't always win. And there's a sense of baseball, and the reason that I think it is up there with the best playoff experiences, and it's unlike any other playoff experience. It's not like football, is because every pitch is just so gut wrenching. And I tweeted out last night, I just can't wait until my heart is in my stomach over a blooped ball with 2 outs and a runner on second and third, like what happened in the first inning of that Marlins game. I was like, oh, is that getting down? And your heart just stops. And I felt it there for a second, because obviously I was cheering for the Marlins, and I was like, oh, that was just a preview times 100 of what I'm going to feel this weekend, probably against the Philadelphia Phillies. But those nerves are fan nerves. It's like people. I used to be afraid of flying in planes. And part of the reason that you're afraid of flying in planes is because it's completely out of your control. You have no, you're not flying the plane. You don't know how to fly a plane. If this pilot dies, if something goes wrong, it is completely out of your control. And that's the reason baseball, there's nothing you can do. And you got to sit there and watch with your heart in your stomach for 3 hours. But guess who doesn't feel that? The pilot, the players on the field. The Braves aren't walking into this series and saying, oh man, we got to play the Philadelphia Phillies. Oh, we're so scared of them. The Braves are thinking, hey, we got revenge on our mind. We want them. We were 14 games better than them in the regular season. They think every time they step up to the plate that they can change the game with one swing of the bat. And there's 26 guys in that clubhouse that is ready for this series. So yes, we as the fans, we're going to feel nerves throughout no matter who we play. But those players on the field, you can bet they're going to be ready to play. And they didn't win 104 games. There's a reason why the Braves are picked by 22 out of 27 people over at ESPN to win the World Series, because they are the best team in baseball, and they are ready to show it. And they are thinking about last year, and they want revenge on their mind. So I take solace in that when I think about the entire series. Like, there's no choke on their mind. There's nothing like that on their mind. They all think they're the better team, and they're going to win this series.
Yeah, the Phillies have a star-studded lineup, power up and down 1 through 9. But guess who has a better lineup? The Braves. The Phillies have a 1-2 punch that can go toe-to-toe with anybody, but guess who else does? The Braves. These guys prefer the Phillies over the Marlins. They're not fans. They don't want the easy road. Listen, most of the time in life, not just sports, the hard way is the right way. To be the best, you have to beat the best. It will feel so much better as a Braves fan if we win the World Series while beating the Phillies. That's the truth of the matter. You'd rather beat the Phillies than the Marlins on your way to the World Series. And listen, if we don't, then they were the better team. That's just the fact of the matter. These 5 games, this is what it's all about. And that is the biggest thing, that these players, they're not nervous. They're ready for this. You don't think that Ronald Acuna wants a ring of his own? He got a ring. There's no doubt about that. But he knows that he didn't earn that ring himself. You think Matt Olson is tired of hearing about, that 2021 team? Sean Murphy's here, finally got a chance to play in the postseason. Spencer Strider. Yeah, these guys are ready. These guys are ready.
It's funny because I wrote an article a couple of weeks ago, and it was based off an ESPN article, and it was talking about pressure rankings. And for some reason, the guy he created this stupid metric, but he had the Brewers as the number 1. And I'm like, no, pressure isn't bred from what happened in the past, because no one cares in this locker room and the Braves clubhouse that they won in 2021. There's only like 4 or 5 guys that really contributed. Marcell Ozuna wasn't there. You named like 5 or 6. Basically, the entire bullpen was not there. The starting staff, Spencer Strider, he was not there. Like, there's only like 5 guys remaining from that team. Pressure is built up through expectations. And the expectations for the Braves is to win a World Series. It has nothing to do with, the Brewers that are currently on there aren't worried about the fact that they've spent 100 years in MLB and haven't won a World Series. No one that has played on that team for 2 years is thinking about that. Pressure is bred from expectations, but the pressure, as I always say, it's felt by the fans. It's not felt by the guys who have done this day after day after day and worked their butts off. And even if you played any sports, there's never a moment where they think across from them. And when you get to this level, that they are better than them. Even the guys on the Marlins aren't going into the clubhouse and thinking, the Phillies are way better than us. They all think they can change the game. This is for all professional teams, but especially the Braves. They've accomplished way too much. They are way too damn good. They have worked way too hard to let the moment get the best of them, and they're not going to let the moment get the best of them. That doesn't mean they're going to win, but it ain't going to be because of pressure, it ain't going to be because of nerves, and it ain't going to be because of a choke job. It's because you're facing a really good team.
Yeah, that's the fact of the matter. I'm so ready for this game to start, or this series to start. I'm sure the Braves are. You know, they're doing inter squad scrimmages right now that we're going to talk about in a bit. They're probably ready to get this thing going. They're itching. All they've thought about all offseason and pretty much this entire regular season is what transpired in the NLDS last year. The Phillies, like, let's just call it what it is. They dog walked the Braves. I mean, they dominated, and we were hurt. It doesn't matter. No excuses. They've been thinking about this moment, waiting to get back. They want the Phillies. They absolutely want the Phillies.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I just can't wait for it to get started. I already feel it. Like I can feel it in my body. When I wake up, I feel it. I can't wait. Coming up after the break, we're going to continue with Braves Talk. They have an open workout, 2 huge developments. We're going to talk about it.